Okay, everybody. Welcome again. I just want to say thank you for the museum and for the University Gallery again, because they prolonged the exhibition just so we can be able to attend it. So that was really nice of them. And we moved here because I hope, as you see, this huge chair construction, which is the Tel Aviv University Alumni Organization event, which we discovered is taking place today. So hopefully the noise here won't be as bad as there. So it is with great pleasure and excitement that I welcome you all to our conference titled Bordered Intimacies, Immigration and Gendered Labor, Family and Personal Relationships. I opened this conference tonight on behalf of the conference organizing committee. It was a privilege and delight to organize it together with Dr. Smadar Schiffman, who envisioned this conference while she was the head of the Women and Gender Studies program, Dr. Hila Shamir, who is inspiringly leading the ERC Traf Lab that generously support this conference, Professor Adriana Kemp, the head of the Sociology and Anthropology department, and Dr. Kinneret Laad, my colleague at the Women's Studies program. All of us are deeply grateful to Ayelet Avriel, which I hope we'll see tomorrow, from the Zeglet Center here at the Law Faculty. Without her, our ideas would have not materialized into a real conference. We thank her for her expertise, wisdom, and patience. This has been a very complex mission, and she accomplished it brilliantly. We also thank Debbie Seaton, who's here, and Tanya Gurov for their additional administrative support, and Sharon Tzach for designing the conference invitations. I believe that we can now write the feminist manifesto and manual of organizing a conference. For me, it was a valuable lesson of professional and collegial female solidarity and support. In addition to the ERC Traf Lab, this conference has several other supporters who made it possible. The Office of Director, Professor Yaron Oz, the Zeglet Center for Interdisciplinary Research of the Law at the Buchman Faculty of Law, the NCJW Women and Gender Studies program, the Minerva Humanities Center, and the Porter Institute for Poetics and Semiotics at the Lester Sally Entin Faculty of Humanities, and the David Horowitz Research Institute on Society and Economy, and the Center for the Study of the United States in partnership with the Fulbright program at the Gershon H. Gordon Faculty of Social Sciences. We are grateful to all of them and view this multiple generous involvement of so many academic bodies within Tel Aviv University as a recognition of the importance of the conference's themes and the relevancy to many different disciplines. Our main goal in this conference is to bring into the center what is often neglected in the academic, public, and as we saw, also artistic and normative discourses over immigration. The personal, familial, and employment relations affected by the movement across geopolitical borders and their gendered manifestations, meanings, and representations. As we described in the call for papers, our era is characterized by intense voluntary and forced border crossing. Short and long-term immigration for work and multiple other reasons has become a part of the biographies of millions, turning transnational families, word families, and global families into a significant phenomenon. Moreover, as the title of this conference highlights, families are not only the only gendered intimate domain affected by immigration. For example, it has been claimed that friendships create hidden solidarities that are less visible and institutionalized than the solidarity established in familial relations, but nevertheless are significant in the era of border globalization. Another site for the study of non-familial solidarities is the workplace. For example, research in these fields suggests that non-traditional forms of solidarity created with others in and outside the workplace can be crucial in the lives of migrant workers to prevent severe labor market exploitation and human trafficking. We will hear during the 9 conference sessions speakers from 11 countries and 4 continents, which I think is an achievement in itself, who will help us explore gender intimacies of migrant workers in different labor sectors, including domestic labor and sex labor, among transnational and half-commuting couples, among migrant parents and their left-behind children, among migrant unoccupied minors, between migrant and non-migrant academics, and in artistic artifacts related to these realities. Our speakers will relate to questions such as how are intimate relations practiced, maintained, and evaluated in the immigration social context? How do effective relationships and various forms of solidarities and collective actions in the global workplace impact working conditions, workplace exploitation, and workers' voice in the workplace? How do cultural conventions and normative expectations in relation to intimate relationships influence immigration? What are the gender implications of the impact of immigration on intimate relations? How do these gendered implications differ by place, age, economic status, sexual orientation, labor sector, kind of a relation, the other relevant variables? Can any similarities be detected nevertheless? How do different disciplines study these gendered implications, and can they inspire each other or even cooperate in the future productive ways? How are these gender implications expressed in the cultural artifacts produced by immigrants, home communities, new communities, and host communities? Can the cultural shifts in these different communities be compared or even described in terms of mutual influences? And how should these gendered implications be socially and normatively regulated on the international and national scales? We thank all of you who traveled from afar to be part of this conference and help to turn it into a diverse and multinational and multicultural intellectual journey. We thank the Israelis who will take part in this conference as speakers, chairs, and commentators, and wish us all a very interesting and fruitful conference. I now invite my dear colleague, Dr. Hila Shamir, hello, to present our distinguished keynote speaker. Please, Hila.
So hi, everybody. Before we start, we want to encourage you all to drink a lot. Headaches are easily achieved in this weather, so there's lots of water around. So I'm really honored to have with us today Rosel Salazar-Pereñas, Professor of Sociology and Gender Studies at the University of Southern California. She previously taught at University of Wisconsin-Madison, University of California, Davis, and Brown University. Her areas of research include labor, gender, international migration and human trafficking, the family, and economic sociology. Rosel is an ethnographer who has conducted fieldwork in Denmark, Italy, Japan, Philippines, Singapore, and the United Arab Emirates. Her research examines the experiences of migrant workers from the Philippines with a particular focus in the last decade on hard-to-reach populations. While her earlier works examined the constitution of gender in women's migration and transnational families, her last two projects have sought to document and examine the experiences of migrant workers identified by the U.S. Department of State as victims of human trafficking. Her current project focuses on the unfree labor of migrant domestic workers in Dubai and Singapore. This study examines their experience of indenture and identifies and analyzes how various stakeholders, states, non-governmental advocacy institutions, recruitment agencies, employers, and domestic workers recognize and accordingly attend to their state of unfreedom. So she will share some of this research today in a talk titled Mobilizing Morality, Migrant Domestic Workers in the United Arab Emirates. And I'm particularly thrilled to have you here because I remember reading Servants of Globalization when I was a dissertation student and how it blew my mind. And then reading Illicit Flirtation that I use to this day in everything I do. So I feel really, really honored and thrilled to have us here with us. So thank you so much for your path-breaking research and for being here today. I'm gonna